Welcome back to English 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Intermediate. Hello, friends, and welcome back to Class 80. Now, the intermediate portion of the class. Yesterday, we talked about the verb to buy. To buy. Did you buy a coffee yesterday? Did you? Ask me if I bought a coffee yesterday. Kyle, did you buy a coffee yesterday? No, I didn't. I didn't buy a coffee yesterday. I bought one 2 days ago, but I didn't buy a coffee yesterday. I had a coffee, but I had a coffee in the morning at the place that I teach at in the morning. I teach classes in a company in the mornings, and I had a coffee, but I didn't buy it. There's free coffee, so somebody bought it. The company bought it, but I did have it. I had the coffee. Ask me if I've bought one so far today. So here we're practicing with the present perfect. Kyle, have you bought one so far today? No, I haven't bought one so far today. Ask me if I've bought a chocolate bar today. Kyle, have you bought a chocolate bar today? No, I haven't. I haven't bought a chocolate bar today. I didn't buy a chocolate bar yesterday, and I haven't bought a chocolate bar today. Have you bought a book this month? You could say, yes, I've bought a book this month. Well, ask me if I have bought a book this month. Kyle, have you bought a book this month? Yes, I have. I've bought a book this month. And I bought a few books last month. I bought a few books last month, and I have bought one book so far this month. So, every day I buy, yesterday I bought, lately I have bought. B-O-U-G-H-T, bought. Pronounced almost like B-O-T, bought. It rhymes with the word not and hot. And also other irregular verbs such as caught, the participle, teach, taught, catch, caught, buy, bought. A very common pronunciation style, a very common type of irregular verb. Ask me if I bought a magazine last month. Kyle, did you buy a magazine last month? No, I haven't bought a magazine. Oh, sorry, no, I didn't buy a magazine last month. And so far this month? No, I haven't bought a magazine so far this month either. No, I haven't bought it. I've read a magazine. I read the new Vaughan Review. Great magazine. Yes, I have read the newest edition of the Vaughan Review, but I haven't bought a magazine yet. But I would recommend that you buy that Vaughan Review because it's very good. There's some very relevant and interesting grammar presented in a very interesting way in the magazine. All right. Translation. Oh, yes, you heard it. It is time for a little bit of translation. Now, reviewing what we saw in the last class, we were practicing with list number 18. Atiende este asunto ahora, no más tarde. Handle this matter now, not later. Handle this matter now, not later. In fact, I think, that's right, I think we didn't get a chance to do this list, did we? So we'll spend time, we'll make sure that we cover this list carefully today because we ran out of time in the last class, I believe. Number 2, no dejes las cosas para más tarde. Don't leave things for later. Don't leave things for later. Number 3. Quiero que ellos vayan conmigo. I want them to go with me. I want them to go with me. Number 4. Dime todo lo que sabes. Tell me everything you know. Tell me everything you know. Todo lo que sabes. Number 5. No pararán para esperarte. En voz alta. Out loud with me. They won't stop to wait for you. They won't stop to wait for you. Number 6. ¿Quién está haciendo ese horrible ruido? Con la contracción. Whose. Okay? Who is. Pero digamos, whose. Who's making that horrible noise? Who's making that horrible noise? Number 7. Incluso mi mujer estaba de acuerdo conmigo. Incluso. Number 7, yes. Even my wife agreed with me. Nadie le dio nada. Nobody gave him anything. Nobody gave him anything. Number 9. ¿Qué hacía él cuando le viste? What was he doing when you saw him? What was he doing when you saw him? Number 10. Puedes encontrar todo en el manual de instrucciones. You can find everything in the instruction manual. You can find everything in the instruction manual. Number 11. ¿Qué tengo que hacer para conseguir ayuda? What do I have to do to get help? What do I have to do to get help? Number 12. No me pidas nada. Don't ask me for anything. Don't ask me for anything. No me pidas nada. Don't ask me for anything. All right? Very good. Okay. Well, that's not true. You can ask me for whatever you want. Send me an email if you have any questions, and I will do my best to answer them. In fact, we have a team of teachers waiting to answer your questions. Well, for the subscribers of the course, that is, through the vaughaningles.com. You go in and your teacher, there's a teacher assigned to you, and he or she will answer your questions. Of course, you can also write to me, and I will do my best. My name is Kyle, and my address is KMILLAR, Kamillar, KMILLAR, at, which is the arroba at, Vausys, VAUSYS.com. And I will do my best to help you and answer you. But we have a team of special teachers for that through the website, vaughaningles.com, and they will answer your questions, get back to you right away, and they're there to help you. We are here to help you, right? Okay. Word of the day. Our word of the day today is, it's time for our word of the day, or the word of the day is traicionar. Traicionar, which is the verb. Ooh, not very nice, but the verb to betray. To betray. Yes, someone can betray someone else. I trusted him, but he betrayed me. Right? Yes. I opened up to him. I trusted him. And he stabbed me in the back. He betrayed me. To betray is our word of the day. And yes, it's not good to be betrayed, and it's not very nice to betray others either. So that's our word of the day. The verb to betray. To betray. The word of the day. There you go. It rhymes. All right, now it's time to practice with a very interesting piece of grammar. Well, it's all interesting, isn't it, folks? Isn't it interesting, ladies and gentlemen? Here we have the word whose. De quién. Here in indirect questions. So what we have to know, first of all, in a direct question, there's something common here between the direct and the indirect questions. We always have this change in word order. But regardless of whether the question is direct or indirect, this object that we're talking about, if we say, ¿de quién es este bolígrafo? Whose pen is this? Whose? And then the pen. The thing we're talking about always directly follows the word whose. Whose pen is this? Oh, it's mine. Whose class is this? It's ours. Whose microphone is this? It's the station's microphone. De quién? Whose? Okay? Now, in the indirect form, we say, do you know whose book this is? So, the direct question, whose book is this? The indirect question, do you know whose book this is? Do you know whose book this is? Now, please give me a negative answer. Do you know whose book this is? No, I don't know whose book this is. Okay, that's all I want you to do. So, the trick here is, like any question, when we change to indirect, we have this change in word order. Let's pretend we're using a different word like what. I would say, what is this? In the indirect question, do you know what this is? So we still have that change. Do you know whose book this is? Whose book is this? Do you know whose book this is? We still have that change in word order, but also we have to pay attention to the fact that we have the word whose coming before that object, the book, the pen, whatever. And this occurs in both the direct and the indirect. Whose book is this? Do you know whose book? So direct question, whose book is this? Do you know who, indirect, do you know whose book? And then this is. We have the change in word order. So always remember whose, direct followed by the object, and then in this case, this, and then the verb to be, changing order. So do you know whose pen is on the table? Now give me a negative answer. Negative answers for everything. We can good way to practice the word order here. No, I don't know whose pen is on the table. Do you know whose glasses those are? No, I don't know whose glasses those are. Do you know whose computer that was? No, I don't know whose computer that was. Do you know whose office we'll have the meeting in? Do you know whose office we'll have the meeting in? No, I don't know whose office we'll have the meeting in. Do you know whose car was stolen? No, I don't know whose car was stolen. Do you know whose books were stolen? No, I don't know whose books were stolen. Do you know whose father was at the party? No, I don't know whose father was at the party. Do you know whose teacher came along? No, I don't know whose teacher came along. Do you know whose system was used? No, I don't know whose system was used. Do you know whose book was published? No, I don't know whose book was published. Do you know whose songs were played? No, I don't know whose songs were played. Do you know whose responsibility it will be? No, I don't know whose responsibility it will be. No, I don't know whose responsibility it will be. Do you know whose cat is in the living room? No, I don't know whose cat is in the living room. I don't know whose cat is in the... Someone's cat, but I don't know whose it is. I don't know whose cat is in the living room. Okay, very good. So, the word whose, the question word, de quién, whose, here in indirect questions, here in Class 80. All right. Vocabulary of the day. Yes, it is time to move on to the vocabulary of the day. Yes, our 5 words of vocabulary. Garantizar. To guarantee. To guarantee. Yes. Quitar. Extraer. To remove. Langosta de mar. Ooh, I love this. Very common in my hometown in Canada. I'm from the east coast of Canada on the Atlantic Ocean, and a lot of my friends fish for this. They fish for this. They earn their living. Ganan la vida pescando. Langosta de mar. Lobster. Lobster. I think it's the best lobster in the world from Atlantic Canada. I'm sure there are at least 100 people now saying, ¿Qué va? Langosta de Galicia, Kyle. ¿Qué es mejor? Well, okay, all right. It's very good, but I'm a bit patriotic. And when it comes to lobster, I am quite patriotic to my nice Canadian lobster. From the cold water, you get a very hard shell and you get very thick meat in the shell, which I like. But anyway, I'm not here to argue about whose seafood is better. I'm just saying I like my lobster, that's all. In fact, the lobster is so plentiful. I'm not lying. I was in Canada a few weeks ago, and the lobster was $4.25. 4 Canadian dollars and 25 cents per pound. $4.25 Canadian per pound, which is roughly €5.50 per kilogram, according to my mathematics. My quick mathematics in my head here, but I think about €5.50 per kilogram of lobster. Very cheap. Incredible. Yeah, very, very cheap. In fact, it's so cheap that sometimes in my province, McDonald's will sell lobster. McLobster. I'm serious. I'm entirely serious here. They buy the lobster and they sell it in sandwiches. Imagine like a hamburger. Es como una hamburguesa, pero con langosta de mar. McLobster. You have your sandwich, your McLobster sandwich with the Coca-Cola and the French fries. Fantastic. McDonald's. It's true. I'm not joking here. Only once or twice a year for a few weeks. It's a seasonal thing, but it's true. Apuntar. To write down. And finally, the last word, el paro, unemployment. Well, I was talking about lobster today, which was all right, but we didn't get to review this, the final point. But I promise I will review it extensively. I will practice it extensively tomorrow. We will drill and we'll practice with all of this material. So please tune in tomorrow and we'll look at it all and so much more. But I'll be back in about 4 minutes with the advanced portion of the class. Okay? My name is Kyle. By the way, I hope you are enjoying the show. I hope you appreciate the program today. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to write in. We are here to answer your questions. See you soon. Bye-bye.